I'm Debbie.
And I'm Allison.
And we're the Poltergals. Spooky.
Hi, I'm Allison.
And I'm Debbie.
And we're
The Poltergals. Look, I did it with you this time.
I know.
I'm so proud.
You want to know what? I just realized yesterday. Go away, Randall. That the squirrels or the ghost squirrels, whatever, up there running. But I don't even know who starts an episode anymore.
We don't.
At some point that switched.
I think we just sometimes introduce, you introduce, I introduce. It just depends on how we're feeling.
Yeah.
Whatever the vibe is, that's how we go. We go based on vibe, everybody.
Is it a vibe?
It's a vibe. VIBE. ZZ. Vibes. But yeah. So we're chilling today in the studio.
Yeah.
We have our glass of Alamos Vineyards. How did she pronounce it? She said it's a Muscat Canelli. This is a sweet white, which is absolutely delicious. It's an amazing wine made by our local winery. Shout out to Sarah for for some of our thoughts. The amazing wine podcast. If you guys haven't checked it out, go check it out already.
Because you could be sipping on some wine, listening to music, cooking, and maybe even finding some ghosties all at the same time.
Exactly. You know us, we love getting drunk and going ghost hunting.
Wait, is that a thing?
I guess so. Maybe we're gonna make it a thing.
Well, I haven't had any of this, so I'm gonna try it. How did it taste
amazing.
to you?
It's sweet. It's just like it's a sipping wine. You know, it's like one of those that's absolutely amazing. It says it doesn't really say anything. It's a Texas white wine. It's 13% alcohol. This is a 750 milliliter bottle. It's a 2022, so it is a new wine, and this is actually made in the first 8 rows of the winery. So this is made with the grapes that they grow in the first 8 rows.
That's actually
really
really good.
I told you it was so good. And
it's
it was great.
It's not like it's like a very fruity, like even to like after the aftertaste is very fruity as well. What the heck?
Very much so. Very much so.
That's weird.
But yeah, so we have a wonderful wine bottle that's going to be sponsoring our episode. So again, shout out Valley Mills Vineyards, shout out Rootstock Wine Festival coming up on April 15th. If you guys haven't already got your tickets and you're in the Waco area, or even if you're coming from out of town, this is a great opportunity to come and visit. And it is amazing. So thank you so much. Shout out again. Alrighty, what are we talking about today, Allison?
So today is the McPike Mansion.
McPike.
It's in Alton, Illinois.
Ooh, Illinois. Oh my God, do you want to know something I just found out?
What's that?
So apparently we were watching a video with Wolfgang Puck, and I was like, oh my God, Cameron, I want to go to a Michelin star restaurant. There are no Michelin star restaurants in Texas. There are only Michelin star restaurants in LA, on the coast, in Orlando, in Chicago, in New York.
I don't even know what that is.
Like, you know, where they get, like, Michelin star accreditation. So it's like, oh, this is a Michelin star 5-star restaurant or 3-star restaurant.
What's that?
So Michelin stars, a lot of people don't know this, but it's actually the tire company. Like, the Michelin tire company actually started doing it to get people to, like, travel. But there are no Michelin star restaurants in Texas. So I'm advocating for the Michelin star restaurant to come to Texas. I don't care if it's in Austin. I don't care if it's in Dallas. It'd be absolutely freaking crazy if it was in Waco.
Can they just give a Michelin star to something like Whataburger?
Well, no. There's like a Michelin star board, and there's like requirements. It has to be like fine dining.
It is fine dining.
Whataburger is not fine dining.
It's fine dining.
You also have to like pay money to the Michelin star board. So apparently Orlando, like the county, or Orlando the city, pays $1 million to Michelin star board every year so that they can have Michelin star restaurants.
What's the point of that,
then? I don't know. That's what I don't understand.
The whole point of having stars is to not pay. It's like, hey, here's my money. And so, in other words, it's the more money you have, the more stars you get.
I don't know. Listen, I don't make the rules. These are just what I found out. And again, it just reminded me of Chicago, Illinois.
Whataburger needs to be a Michelin star fine dining restaurant.
Delicious. Amazing.
Yes.
You know what I call Whataburger? Wait a burger. You always have to wait in line for like 20 minutes.
Because it's delicious.
I guess so. I mean, I don't know if it's worth it, but
It's worth it.
I did just have recently their new breakfast bowl. Not shout out. It was so good. It was like a biscuit and then gravy and like eggs, and then it had little hash browns in it. It was so good. Anyway, back to Alton, Illinois, and the McPike Mansion.
Yeah.
Allison, do you want to get us started?
I guess.
All right, let's go.
Hi. So, construction began in 1869 because apparently that's all the good spookies.
Yep. You know,
said it a
anything
million
made
times.
in the 1800s is going to be haunted.
So this was built. The architect was Lucas Burger. That's a whole lot of burgers.
There are like literally 4 F's in this name. She's not even joking, guys.
In the burger. That's literally
Fiefenburger.
like I don't even
Fiefenburger. Fiefenburger.
I don't know how to even pronounce this guy's
It's like,
name.
do you remember on that show? It was like Fred Burger.
Why would anybody want to say Fred Burger?
Fred Burger. It's from Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack. Do you remember that show?
No.
Oh my gosh.
I hated that show.
You hated that show?
I watched one episode and then I was like, nope.
Oh my gosh, Fred Burger. Or maybe it was from the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. I cannot remember.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to watch that show.
You weren't allowed to watch that?
No, because apparently it represented death
Well, yeah,
and demons.
not der.
So I wasn't allowed to watch it.
Hey, yeah, Fred Burger from the Grim Adventures. Fred Burger is a tubby, light green, short, hyperactive, elephant-like monster with stubby, pale green horns and a green devil tail. Also has dark blue eyes. Fred is easily impressed and lives with his mama. In Underlist Halloween Bash, she serves as the main character for the episode. The more you know. Anyway, sorry, let's get back to the real life for Burger.
Yeah, because that's a lot. So, in this year, McPike's, yeah, you know what? It's just going to be McPike, was considered one of the finest in the quality at an exhibition of the Mississippi Valley Grape Growers Association.
Which is why we have wine for this episode.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought it was just because we had a free bottle of wine.
Oh, well, that too. But also,
because shout out to Valley. Well, Diana, which I believe is his wife, was best on exhibition.
Mm-hmm.
McPike served as mayor of Alton and was a notable local businessman involved in real estate and box making.
So he just made boxes?
I think so.
I don't know what that means.
Hey, maybe he finds the cardboard?
I don't know. Was cardboard like made? Like, what's the history of cardboard?
You know, we were talking about, I don't know why, but we're talking about is like finding random objects and like looking up its history.
Hey, that'd be cool.
And talking about
podcast.
like,
New podcast
yeah, that's
idea.
what we're wanting to do. Reagan was really interested in this, and Reagan's another editor here, so
Maybe Reagan will have a podcast now.
So-
Shout out.
yeah. And we're like maybe do a podcast about that.
Okay, cool. But anyway, so he was in
Box
real estate
making.
and box making.
Whatever that
means.
is. You know, he served as a librarian at the Alton Southern Illinois
Horticultural Society.
Horticulture Society in the late 1880s. That is a mouthful, man.
That means plants.
Plants?
Plants.
Okay. But he be dead in 1910. He be dead.
He died in 1910.
He go by. Went from one world to another.
The more you know.
And in 1925, the mansion was then purchased by Paul A. Yeah, you know what? Just Paul. Paul A. Who then rented the rooms out to others and lived there until his death in 1945.
Wow.
The house then sat abandoned for several years and eventually gained interest in a potential demolish, but was converted the land into a shopping center.
Mm-hmm.
Though this fell through due to zoning issues during some of that lovely waiting period.
Mm-hmm.
The house was ransacked and what was left behind, including its furnishing, wooden banisters, and toilets, and it became a victim of vandalism and neglect.
Wow, I feel like all these bullet points are super sad, Allison.
I'm sorry.
I guess that's how places get haunted, right?
Yeah. And then, I don't know why, but I've also been following a bunch of abandoned places on Facebook, like pages. And it's actually really cool.
I'm excited.
So the structure was listed on the National Register of Historic Places on June 17th of 1980. But was left for derelict. What is derelict?
I don't know.
Derelict?
Derelict. Derelect.
For many years before being purchased by Sharon and George.
Shout out.
In a 1990.
But Sharon.
Yeah, it was weird. That's a weird spelling, but okay. In 1994. And they intended to convert it into a hotel, but to earlier assurances at an auction, they were unable to secure a restoration grant from any federal, state, or even local agencies, although they did have overseen a registration process funded through donation and tours. And in 2017, the Alton Historic Commission presented them with an award and a preservation for work done on the front porch and conservatory.
Wow. Oh, and derelict. It's derelict. It is in very poor condition as a result of disuse or neglect, i.e. the cities were derelict and dying. It can also be a person without a home, job, or property, as derelicts who could fit all their possessions in a paper bag.
Wow. That's sad. And my phone goes beep, beep.
Anyway, so now you guys know about the history. It's time for a commercial break.
Yay!
Bye!
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Spooky.
Hey y'all, I'm April.
Hi, I'm Caroline.
And we have a new podcast for you. What's it called, Caroline?
Bloody Happy Hour.
It's going to be your new favorite guilty pleasure. We're going to talk about some bloody stuff. Serial killers, true crime, rapists. Why not join us? We'll have a good time.
You literally never know. I don't know what I'm going to say. Bloody Happy Hour. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
On this commercial break, it is brought to you by Valley Mill Vineyards.
Shout out. Thank you so much for a free bottle of wine.
Because we love some sommeliers.
Sommelier.
Some more. Yay.
Some more yays. Anyway. Okay, that's all.
That's all we got for y'all. See you on the flip side.
Hi, this is Sarah,
And I'm Carter.
and this is Some of Our Thoughts.
We're two Southern sommeliers, and we want to share everything we love and know about wine. We started hanging out during quarantine and cooking and drinking and listening to music, and we just thought this would be a great way to bring everything we know to you guys.
We will make wine knowledge and food pairings easy and approachable. So put on your favorite vinyl, grab your favorite glass of wine, tune into our show, and let's have some fun.
Wine and
vinyl.
So check us out on roguemedianetwork.com or wherever you get your favorite podcast. We'll be talking about a lot.
And now, back to the show. spooky.
All right, and welcome back. Now you guys know the history. It's time to get into the hauntings. So, as mentioned, Henry Guest McPike was the original owner of the building, and therefore, he's obviously one of the ghosts. So, McPike is a multi-faced spirit. He was a 2-time mayor of Alton, which you already said, and a kingmaker in local politics. He was also a box maker, is that what it said?
Yeah, a box maker.
I don't know what that means.
What is a box maker?
Maybe we should look that up during the commercial break. But anyway, he also dabbled in horticulture, propagating his own variety of grapes covered in winemaking circles, which, again, why we have the wine today, in honor of Mr. McPike himself. And then he was also a skilled businessman who counted real estate and insurances along all of his venues. So he was a very smart man. A man of such prominence needed a stately home, and in 1869, McPike commissioned the local architect to build the Italianate-style estate on his 15-acre compound. McPike adored the property so much, is what we hear, obviously from most ghosts. Is like, this was my dream house, which is why I moved into it. So, like, can you get out of my house?
So, a box maker.
Mm-hmm.
He's
a multi-hat.
He's a multi-hat person.
Oh my gosh. We haven't brought back the multi-hat in a while.
Know.
Shout out the multi-hat.
Ooh. My brain's going wild now. Anyway, so a box maker is the making and repairing of all boxes, the sawing, resawing, and cutting to size of all material for box making in crates. This also entails inspecting tools, mechanical equipment, and maintaining and repairing them as needed.
Oh. So, yeah, he did just make boxes. The more you know. But anyway, he adored his property, particularly the grove of fruit trees, before he succumbed to brief illness in the house in 1910 and died. Which you already told us.
Well,
legend has it that his spirit never left.
I'm glad you did better than me.
Why? What? Succumbed?
Yeah.
And then he died. That's what she said. She said he just died. He succumbed and died. I feel like we say that word a lot on here.
I love that.
We love that for him.
Well, if you don't know why I'm making such a big deal, you should not be 13 and
13
or 15 and
I'm
die
14
of diabetes.
And this is deep. No, Allison. Ugh, I forgot about that episode. Go back and listen to our old episodes, guys. Promo. Anyway.
Oops.
So he died in 1910.
Not of diabetes, luckily.
Not of diabetes. He just got an illness. It didn't say what kind of illness. Probably tuberculosis, honestly, if we're talking about it.
Oh, so he could have died of diabetes.
I mean, he might have. It didn't say. It just said he succumbed to illness.
Tragic.
Anyway, legend has it that his spirit actually never left. For more than a century, local lore has held the home known as McPike's Mansion is haunted by its original owner. So, of course, McPike. McPike, however, might not be the only apparition who has seemingly taken central residence inside the mansion's walls. Sharon and George Leduc, however you're going to pronounce it, who also invested thousands of dollars into renovating the home since purchasing it in 1994, believe that there are dozens of spirits who have maintained a presence in addition to the home.
Oh. And they're the ones that got that award in 2017.
Yep, exactly.
Interesting.
So they've owned the home since 1994, and then, they're still renovating it and everything, blah, 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 and then they got that award. But anyway, they think there are actually dozens of spirits. So not just McPike himself, but actually way more. And I mean, again, it was back in the 1800s, so everything's spooky back then. So among the punitive spectral inhabitants is Henry's mother, Lydia. She's the matriarch of the family, Sharon says. She's a pretty strong presence who's like to be introduced when I bring people into the entranceway. So it's like, hi, welcome to my entryway. This is a ghost. Her name is Sharon. Sorry.
Lydia.
Her name is Lydia.
God,
yeah.
Linda. Listen, Linda, it's
Come on,
Lydia.
Linda. But yeah, anyway, so Lydia's like, hi, I'm here. So she was actually McPike's first wife. Oh, no, sorry. And then there's also McPike's first wife, who is Mary. She makes regular appearances as well. She's kind of shy, but she's a really good spirit. So again, kind of benevolent, kind of just chilling, doesn't really do anything. She's not spooky at all. And then Sharon says that she also loves children, which is really cute. So shout out Mary. We love you. Ghost mommy. Tuck me in at night.
Oh.
So we have Lydia. We have Mary. And then we move on to McPike's son, who is James. So there've also been encounters with McPike's son, who is James, and their daughter-in-law, Ginny. This is who Sharon calls the trickster of the spiritual group. So, like, they're just playing a bunch of little pranks. She says that Ginny will touch people, like, not in, like, a harmful way or anything, but, like, she might tug on your hair a little bit or, like, touch your ear or, like, just, like, mess with you. That way you know that she's there. So that's one of the options. Neither Lydia nor Mary lived in the mansion before their deaths, and not all of the supposed spirits are of McPike's clan, so she does say that there might be other people that are at the residence as well. Sharon says she's felt the spirit of a woman named Sarah, who was believed to have been a personal attendant to the McPikes. So again, not his direct line of descendants, but just someone who was in the house at the time, you know? So it kind of works out that way. And then they also say they claim that at least 3 children actually lost their lives in the mansion as well. So there are at least 3 children who may have lived on the property before McPike purchased it that still haunt the grounds. So there are 3 young little Billies and Sallys.
So the property or the house?
It says the property. So I'm assuming remember, it's on 15 acres. So this is like a huge estate, like giant.
Okay.
So I'm assuming, again, we don't know if they died in the mansion or were there on the property before, but
I guess
they've now deceased.
It would have had to have been the property because he built the house, unless it was another house that was there.
Yeah, and again, I imagine these are like countryside estates where there's like other little houses and like where they're, they're caretakers or they're, I don't want to say like they're help, but like, like they're help and stuff work on.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there were 3 little kids. And then no earthly bodies have lived in the house since 1954. So no one has actually lived in the house. And then, of course, Sharon and her husband bought it in 1994. But no one's lived in it since 1954.
Interesting.
So no one's actually lived in the house since 1954. It was long ago condemned, but the site has now become a popular destination in the recent decades for hunters of paranormal activity. That's us. Yeah.
I wonder if they actually made it into a hotel.
I don't know.
Like they said that they were trying to.
Maybe, what did they get the award for in 2017 again?
It was preservation for work done on the front porch and conservatory.
So I wonder. But yeah, so now they opened up to ghost tours. So, I mean, they do that. And then a photograph captured a dark shadow in the doorway to the cellar. And Sharon says it's pretty obvious that is Henry himself. So, Henry, again, still just chilling at his house, him and his wife, Mary, and then along with the matriarch of the family and some other little children and his son and daughter-in-law. So there's just like a whole family of little ghosties living in there. And again, she said there's probably like 20 ghosts in there, so it's not like just them, but there might be other people in there as well. So yeah, that's all the hauntings. And again, if I find this picture they are talking about of the photograph of the dark shadow in the cellar door, claiming to be Mr. Henry McPike himself, I will post that on our social media so you guys can take a look for yourself and see what you think. But yeah, so that's all the hauntings of the McPike Mansion. Is there anything else you want to share with us today, Allison?
I don't think so.
I think that's everything.
Yeah.
We don't have any announcements. We don't have anything else going on right now.
Well, Paranormality.
Check out Paranormality Magazine. Use our code POLTERPALS. That's POLTERPALS for your 10% off. That's including the T-shirt as well as the upcoming magazine.
Yeah, that's all one word, all lowercase.
Don't miss out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening to another episode of the Poltergals.
Bye.
Bye. You've been listening to The Poltergals,
a Rogue Media Network podcast.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.